What's up, everybody? Nate here from Out of the Basement, joined with Steven.
Howdy.
Today, we are going to be giving our spoiler-filled thoughts on The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 2, which is technically Chapter 10, The Passenger. So, Steve, we're already here. 2 episodes in, and we got our very first filler episode. Ugh. Not what I was looking for.
Yeah, definitely not, but hopefully we're just getting it out of the way.
True. Not that a filler episode can be bad, because Season 1 had its fair share of filler episodes, and at least 2 of them I enjoyed. The other one being Chapter 5, The Gunslinger, which I think is still the worst episode of The Mandalorian, specifically because of Toro Calican. And I wanted to make sure of that, making that statement, because I've already seen a lot of people saying that this particular episode is now the worst episode of The Mandalorian, which I don't specifically agree with. Especially, I rewatched Episode 5 just to make sure. I was like, because before that, Episode 5 of Season 1 was my least favorite, and it still is.
Until I rewatch Chapter 5, I'm going to just stick with Season 2, Episode 2 being my least favorite for now, until which time I may change my mind when I give it a rewatch, but when that will be, I don't know.
So the episode starts off, picks right back up at the end of Episode 1. We see the Mandalorian encountering more bounty hunters, including a very special bounty hunter.
Very special.
Well, it's probably not the same one, but there is a little Tito from The Force Awakens who tries to bargain with Mando for the jetpack. Of course, that doesn't go very well. And then we are off back to Mos Eisley, back to the cantina, which thankfully it was very brief.
Yeah,
and there wasn't
that could have been disastrous.
It could have been like Season 1, Episode 5, where Toro Calican's sitting in Han Solo's seat. He's got his legs kicked up. Ugh. So I'm glad it was brief. And then I also noticed in my rewatch of Episode 5 of Season 1 is that you can see the Frog Lady and you can see Dr. Mantis in the background of that scene. So it was kind of like a little tease to bring it full circle for another filler episode. A filler episode having filler
callbacks.
Filler callbacks, exactly.
Or foreshadowing, I guess, in that case. Shout out to Dr. Mantis.
Dr. Mantis was awesome. A giant, presumably animatronic mantis puppet that looked great, and he had some information leading to a new lead for the Mandalorian to find another Mandalorian, and that leads him on a quest to sort of ferry Frog Lady and her offspring to this distant planet, and then she would in turn lead him to this other Mandalorian, whoever it might be. But of course things don't go as planned, and they crash on a remote ice planet with no one around to save them, and then they encounter your favorite creatures on planet Earth, some spider creatures that I believe are from Rebels. I'm not 100% sure, but they were disgusting. The child eats one of them, which was very gross. I did not want him to do that. Thought that was a bad idea, but
in the grand scheme of things, not a big deal.
No.
It's just I hate spiders with a fiery passion, and so this episode immediately has 0 rewatchability for me, and I will probably never watch it again. So the spiders kind of ruined everything for me, but again, grand scheme of thing, not that big of a deal. Just a personal gripe. Everything else surrounding this episode that wasn't the spiders was just kind of a rehash of the first episode, just different setting, different objectives, kind of different, because he's just on another journey to find a Mandalorian.
yeah.
So he's just doing the same thing from Episode 1, just in this case way less interesting.
Yeah, because there's also a lot less going on. Most of the episode is action, which is still entertaining. I don't want to make it seem like this episode was boring. It was definitely still cool. We still got some good Mando action, some flamethrower action, all sorts of good stuff, but the plot of the episode was about as thin as the ice that was holding the Razor Crest up. And it comes crashing down just like the Razor Crest. So pretty much 0 plot progression in this episode, which again, There's nothing wrong with filler episodes. Every TV show has to have filler episodes to some degree. But at least to make the filler episode somewhat a little bit more interesting, other than just, oh, here's some action with some scary monster creatures.
I mean, all filler episodes can't be good episodes. Sometimes they're just not going to be great, and unfortunately this is just one of those.
Yeah.
Because like you mentioned earlier, filler episodes aren't inherently bad. That doesn't immediately equate to them being bad. It's just that this particular one just didn't really hit with me. And then you add the spiders in, and I'm done with it forever. So that's basically my entire assessment of the episode. There's really...
There you
I
go.
don't know what else there is to say, honestly.
Yeah. There's not a lot to say about this episode. Of course, we get more Dave Filoni making his X-Wing fighter cameo yet again. And I'm sure the other gentleman who was also an X-Wing fighter was or is some famous actor. That's kind of how I was joking when we first started watching the episode. I was like, what celebrity guest do you think's playing the frog lady? Because I'm sure it's someone. So, of course, they are rescued. Everything's fine. Mando's back on track to go to this planet with the frog lady. The Razor Crest gets repaired. So, Steven, who do you think we're going to encounter? Let's speculate a little bit, because it is rumored that not only Sabine will be making a live-action appearance in Season 2 of The Mandalorian, it's also rumored that Bo-Katan will be showing up as well.
That didn't occur to me. The Sabine didn't occur to me until pretty much right before we started filming.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, of course it could be Bo-Katan. And then I thought, I totally forgot Sabine was a character for me. I was like, wait a minute, no, she's alive in this period. So, and we also haven't seen who Sasha Banks is playing.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe...
I feel like she could be Sabine.
Yeah.
She definitely could be.
Yeah, it's not a bad casting, so maybe that could be her. But yeah, I don't know about Bo-Katan. I guess if I had to put my money on anything, I guess I would say it's probably Sabine, but...
Slightly less of a deep cut, maybe.
Yeah.
Ever so slightly.
Yeah, I don't know. Hard to say, but if I was going to put money down, if I was a betting man, I'd probably say it's going to be Sabine, and that'll be exciting.
Yeah. I wonder if she'll still have her armor, what her armor will look like. Because we do see Sasha Banks in the trailer for Mando Season 2, but she's just wearing like a cloak. She doesn't have any of the armor on or anything like that, which obviously could be to hide that she is playing Sabine, or be, Sabine has her armor in storage somewhere or doesn't bring it out simply because she doesn't want to reveal herself.
Right. I think that would be the more likely scenario. And of course, we're not saying, obviously we don't know who Sasha Banks is playing, but I don't think it would be that bad of a casting choice if she was Sabine. So
I think it could make sense. But yeah, at the end of the day, really disappointing that the second episode was already a filler episode. Like you said earlier, we hope that it's just, they're just getting it out of the way, because there's going to be much more plot episodes coming down the line. But, Mandalorian Season 1, three plot episodes, 3 filler episodes, and then 2 more plot episodes. I feel like that was pretty good pacing for Season 1. So, for Season 2 to start out with plot episode, then jump straight into a filler episode, it kind of just feels like, oh, I waited a whole week for this, which is a little disappointing, definitely. So, Steve, final thoughts on the episode. What rating would you give it out of 10?
Final thoughts being pretty much just echoing what you just said. A little disappointing that we're already getting filler. Hopefully we'll get back to plot in episode 3. And I have to rate this pretty low. Again, I didn't rewatch Chapter 5, so as it stands now, I'm going to say this is my least favorite episode thus far. So I'm going to give it 4 out of 10.
Wow.
I did not enjoy it, and again, it has 0 rewatchability for reasons mentioned earlier for me. It's probably not a deal breaker for most of you out there, and for that, I envy you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I didn't really think too highly of it, unfortunately. So here's hoping we're back on track by episode 3. How about you?
I'm going to go slightly higher than you. I'm going to give this episode a 5 out of 10. Right down the middle. You know, wasn't horrible, wasn't great, although was not as bad as my least favorite episode of The Mandalorian, which is Season 1, Episode 5. So there you have it, folks. There are our spoiler thoughts on Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 2, The Passenger. What did you think of the episode? Let's talk about it in the comments down below. Who do you think The Mandalorian is going to run into next? I'd also love to hear your thoughts on that. Of course, if you enjoyed our review, don't forget to leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, ring that bell so you're notified when we are uploading videos. Of course, I'm Nate. I've been joined with Steven.
Take care.
And we will see you guys next time on Out of the Basement.